We do our knife besides, and for the first time, it looks like EnvyUs is going to win the knife unless Forrest can basically become a surgeon and slice his way to victory up against EnvyUs. He does have the advantage still. There's one. And there's two. Ninjas in Pajamas are 3 for 3 on the knife round.
And on this map, let's not forget that in the last, I guess, month and a half, since the start of PGL, honestly, 2 months, I guess, start of March, just before Alu came in, or just after Alu came in, they started adjusting positions. They pulled Get Right off of Catwalk, where he has a home for himself, over toward the A site, where he was a little bit aggressive, put Forrest in that position, or pardon me, put Freiburg in that position. Now they've swapped it back, and they've haven't really ever became comfortable with that new position. So I imagine we're going to see back to basics here, back to the default, where Get Right has that really dynamic play on Catwalk and peeks out to support Alu. But that's the other thing. In the post-Faflaren era, everyone was saying with Michael Italy, Inferno was their best map. This is a map that, this is Alu's arguably best map, and NiP are kind of playing into that strength. They're coming alive on it, so if they can get things firing on all cylinders, it could definitely favor them.
Well, let's see which cylinder gets to fire to start with. NiP. Round number 1, start the count. As we go into map number 3, winner of this gets to advance themselves through the winner's bracket final, avoiding that matchup up against Fnatic in the first lower bracket final.
And already NBK up close from the underpass, so Alu hears him, falls back, responding to that. A couple players already around the corner at top of middle as well. Smoke does go off, no vision left, there's not a gap at all. So that gives a bit of an advantage to work with, but now they're going to come in through B apartments. Look at Exist, already aggressive, going to catch them off. NBK checking on the left, not the right. Didn't anticipate, him to be there at all, but Shocks will counter him out. Freiburg's back toward the van though. Second player there, but that fire's on top of him. He hasn't found the frag and he's going to have to move.
He's only got 3 bullets left, but he holds onto it instead of reloading, switches into the pistol. As in, is the other teammate, the other enemy's pistol. Couldn't finish the job. NiP, they do have the health advantage. Get Right now actually makes it even Stevens as far as the life advantage, and there it is. Get Right and Alu mop it up, and NiP, first round on CTs, they take it against EnvyUs. And that means money their way. And how many SMGs do we see? 1, 2.
And this map, we saw them go for that 5 SMG buy on Dust.
We got M4 and Famous
a lot longer angles. This map, it could have paid off, but yeah, they're going to go for rifles. So maybe either lesson learned or just not going quite for the gamble. They are tied up at 1 now.
The M4 is just so important for Get Right's position. The ability to actually make sure that no one can come out of Palace, but you can still battle from the back ticket booth.
And Forrest is over toward B. This is still very early, mind you, but this could indicate that they are going to switch plays. So Get Right will not be on the catwalk. He actually will be toward A, and it'll be Forrest supporting Freiburg.
Yeah. It might also have just been because of the money, who could buy the weapon, who had the better spawn for it.
Entirely. That's why, and again, it is early to read, but if that's any indication, then they will go to the new system away from the classic, and Exist has company inside the Palace.
Yeah, he's seeing him coming out, making as much noise as possible. A lot of spray. There's one right below him. He's going to need a little bit more help, but Get Right, making sure no one else can come out of Palace, spraying through the smoke. It is a 3-on-3 situation. Then Freiburg comes in, bringing out the spray. He can't finish the job, running out of bullets, but Forrest will, tossing the nade up to Palace, but already you have Shocks backing up. He's got 40 HP and 46 seconds on the clock, but that bomb is on the A site, unplanted. And he knows he can't come in through the Palace. It's just too much of an easy hit for NiP, because they should have that Famous back in hand, but Forrest is still holding on to the SMG. Get Right mops it up, and great round for him. 2 kills for it.
And 2 kills with the SMGs, so that's $600 each way. They don't re-grab that FAMAS though, so they're actually going to leave Forrest on that MP7. And where this is the 3rd round, you're likely not going to re-grab SMGs. You're likely going to buy so you don't have to upgrade the next round. Although, that said, we do see Freiburg grabbing an SMG, as does Alu. And in fact, Exist is going to join them, so they aren't going to go that way. Okay, no, I take that back. Forrest threw away his and grabbed the rifle himself. So they did grab one more, but they're still going to have to upgrade the next round. So they need the SMGs to get kills right now. If they want to use them to ultimately what they're best for, not just getting kills right now with their current movement mechanics, but also getting an economy. They have to get kills. That's 1 with them, but that's all it's going to be. The Shocks will drop Exist on the way through. Get Right holds strong with the M4 on the backside, and Alu's rotated around 2 players at Firebox right now.
Yeah,
they're
stuck in the corner for the moment. Get Right was waiting for 1 to peek out. They still know the second is there, and then Alu out to go to work using that MP7. And Ninjas in Pajamas, they only lose 1 player, and it was Exist. And they don't lose the M4s.
And 3 kills with SMGs that time, so it does start to pay off now. As
that's going to be AWP time then.
Yeah, I mean, 65, 60, I can't even talk numbers anymore.
At the same time,
60-50.
then again, would you want to buy? You may not even want to buy the AWP in this round, mainly because you know EnvyUs. Like, look at their money. You're still running another set of pistols here for them.
And that comes out with that force, so.
Yep.
This is smart, because if they give away an AWP to pistols, then you're actually really hurting yourself, even if they just save it, even if they don't win the round. So Exist will go ahead and take down MBK. That starts it off. Freiburg's going to push through with his MP9 and try and get up close. Nade does good damage onto Happy. Shock's just waiting inside the smoke for an opportunity to come through.
Yeah, but there's going to be a secondary smoke from Freiburg, so they still don't keep the vision there. And Freiburg, if only he knew, he would just spray through it. There's no reason to give away his position as EnvyUs, who are the ones who have to play the wait game. Just keep peeking. Wait, was that a toe? I saw a toe through the smoke. But they're not coming through any further. They're still the last 3 players up for EnvyUs. So Flash, then have a look. Forrest going to team up with him as well. As Freiburg,
he's got to be careful.
A secondary flash as he's going to blind him up, which means Forrest can jump up. Alu's able to get the kill from a little bit lower ground, and Forrest will mop it up. So 4-0, EnvyUs, a basic pistol round, but NiP, a very, very heavy advantage in the early rounds. But we're going to see the first real proper gun round for EnvyUs.
Yeah, so, okay. Freiburg's going to stick with it. He's going to stick with it, but the rest of them are going to go on to rifles, and Alu already directly into this op, still with 44 in the pocket afterwards. Question is, what approach does he want to take? Forrest has the spawn to get in toward the window, but they don't give him the op. He's going to play it with the rifle. That means Alu actually has to head out.
Cat.
Yeah. Toward Cat, so that's a change of pace.
It
is an off angle. Not even connector to get the first pick around the corner. He has to hit this cubby shot, and they're already getting spammed away. Can't connect, and down to 34 as a result. That's a misplay right there. Or at least a whiff that's going to cost them, not so much a misplay.
Yeah, he couldn't find the angle, couldn't find the vision, and then started getting tagged up, had to back it out. Get-Right's still there to make sure no one can come up through underpass, spamming out, able to bring down Shock, but MBK, revenge kill, and instantly tip for tat. Forrest shutting down MBK. He's a little bit worried about people coming up through the ladder if Alu does go down. As Alu needs to get himself out of there with that AWP in hand. But Happy already on the site. Gonna get spammed up, caught with the grenade in hand and not the gun. So he can flash. But that's Forrest who's back on the A stairs. The man of full life as well as armor. And in fact, Forrest just burns out Happy with a Molotov.
Smith's now your last man left, caught in catwalk. No smokes to hold off his position, and
another SMG
shot from all
kill.
sides. Yeah, that's the big thing. So Forrest gets more money. He's up to 10K as a result. I mean, it's insane what they can do for an economy. And he also picked up a Tech 9 to go with it. So why not have both broken weapons?
All we're missing right now is the auto sniper for Get-Right in the A side.
That's right, with the one-way smoke on top of ticket booth.
Yeah, which can't work anymore.
Yeah, I know. But that's when the round you're referring to when we saw the ace.
Yeah, the old days. Yeah, when I first came into CS.
Alu.
Quick pick. Came out a very long way to make that shot, but the mid-smoke escape from the cover required to do it. As they continue to flash up the mid, MBK is at least able to get some kind of revenge on the Forest.
That short smoke does really change the way you have to pick it in mid, so Alu did read that brilliantly. And I have to go back. I know this round's about to unfold. Is MBK's going to catch Alu? Well, that's the point I was going to make. He's normally quite efficient. We saw him in the last round, down to 34 HP. Oh, this is so tense. Get-Right waits in sandwich and makes a snack out of Happy. As Exist will get MBK. When he went down to 34 HP early and stayed alive late, picked up 2 more kills in the round, and Alu's very good at staying efficient. A lot of oppers over peak once they're damaged. Alu's very good at not overstaying his welcome and just waiting it out and letting the positional advantage come back to him by getting overlooked just because he kind of goes stale. He goes quiet and you forget about him almost.
This is going to be the first round for EnvyUs. Kio's got a very open plant there as Exist. Only gets one. Tinks up Exist quite heavily, but he killed off Get-Right, and Kio's going to take the round. First one for EnvyUs on the board.
So 5-1. Good start from NiP. Again, we saw this scoreline on cash for them. Of course, they were on the T side, but Mirage, you want to talk numbers? I mean, after the last, I don't want to talk numbers after the last match. That's not in my itinerary right now, but I think NiP have to get up close to 9 on this CT side. I really do. I know that EnvyUs, yes, they've got good entry fraggers. They are very good on the CT side, but I really think NiP needs the cushion because we saw what happened. As soon as their economy got broken, the momentum went away from them. It actually became increasingly harder to close out on Dust 2s. We do have a pause. I didn't see which NiP player it was that dropped out, but one of the players did leave the server, so yeah, they'll get back in and get back underway immediately.
Hopefully nothing too problematic.
Pushing on to midnight here, local. Been going the distance.
Are you going to turn into a pumpkin?
I turned into something much worse.
An angry caster? We already have Thorin.
That's true. Okay. That's true. I won't turn into Thorin. I won't. I promise. You're looking at me like you're skeptical. I won't. I promise. So 5-1.
Actually, I'm more interested to see what would happen if you put 2 Thorns in a room.
I don't know. I don't want to think about that. That's like internal combustion. That's a Big Bang Theory all over again.
That's quality YouTube material right there. All right.
Well, here's the point I was about to make, though. We do just get a reset in the money bonus. We do have EnvyUs forcing out with the Galil on NBK, so they're still broke as is. In fact, Smith's doing the same. They don't have the op yet. They lose this round, and NiP are actually getting an advantage from this in a weird way because the economy is going to be so broken, they'll start to string together not only 6, but 7, potentially even 8. They're so broke at this point. As Alu collects shocks first, Smith does respond. That's Forrest, but Freiburg goes back into him, so NiP are in a good spot right now to do this.
Yeah, Freiburg's just going to hold that line, looking for the guys to come in through cat to short. NBK's able to get the upper hand on him. That's Keo, who's the man who's been injured quite heavily. But the ult from Alu looking for the small angle. He's needing to wait for Exist. Gerright's the first man pushing up, looking back towards bench.
That'll be the first
and
thing.
he saw the head of NBK. Starts to spray, able to get the kill. And Keo knows he's being watched from 2 different sides. Just that little toss flash out. And Keo blind as a bat. They'll take the round. And Ninjas in Pajamas, they hit back hard. As you said, EnvyUs were pretty broke as it is. And they have just lost that big round.
It broke. Again, the bomb plant is very important in that regard because I said they might actually get up toward the 8th round potentially. 7 should come on an anti-eco here, but then they still would have been in a position to force by getting out that bomb plant. They'll start to get the money bonus back up on round 3. They will be able to buy in the next one. So that was a very important bomb plant. Alu, again, on the op. Freiburg's got that AK he's picked up. This is a great start from NiP. I mean, this is perfect. You come out after a long match, you finally beat Envy, and they're using it to their full advantage in terms of their mindset right now. And it looks like Envy's the team that's a bit sluggish. They're not finding the kills required at all.
Yep. Well, maybe they could find a bit of an injection if they can get this plant down on B, which looks to be the primary target. But Freiburg's waiting for him anyway. Support's already rotating over. They just leave that one last player, which exists over. There goes your first flash already. Freiburg takes out 1. Looks for the second, takes him. 3rd one. Freiburg going to work. 4th one. Can he get the full ace? No, he cannot. Denied by Happy.
Great spray control, no less. Fires away on the window. So there's your 7th. But op comes out, so Happy's going to go for this. And we jump to replay, I do believe he didn't get armor out. So this is pretty much a glass cannon. I could be wrong on that. But look at that, good control.
Just hold it down. This would have been so easy to get that last hit into Happy. But now, 7-1.
Glass cannon. So Happy is going full glass cannon right now to try and open up some space right now for Team EnvyUs.
Ninjas in Pajamas aren't giving him the pick they're looking for. Other, in fact, pushed all the way up onto the A site and looked into the A stairs instead of looking to mid. And they put Forrest there and Gerright. Gerright was the man that was holding it before when Alu went a little bit rogue with the AWP. But so far, Team EnvyUs.
Look at this, giving up connector. Not a lot of times you'll see teams give up connector that much. In fact, not only giving it up, they're also giving up the backside of jungle. Just now they're going to get a rotation from Get Right into that spot.
Exist is looking the wrong way. He thinks there's still someone up in Palace, but...
The trade-off for that is that Exist can get aggressive now. He is toward Palace, and a lot of times what teams do is they play that player back toward connector. They have a second player to rotate in from window through the vents over to CT, but the smokes counter that off. But meanwhile, it's all going down at B.
Yep, and that's where the push comes in. Forrest up in the corner. That'll bring down Smith, still alive here for the moment. Until he will get shut down. It's all up to Exist, who gets rid of shocks at mid-connector. He's in a 1-on-3 situation up against 2 AKs and an AWP. He'll be able to find himself an AWP and maybe some pickoffs here and there.
And that's the thing. Just do damage at this point to the economy. You've got a 7-1 lead. You've already had a money bonus reset once. Yes, it's not full. You're going to reset it again here. If you start pulling guns out, it makes a massive difference. By keeping 3 up, it actually is pretty good for EnvyUs. They lose 1 player more, and you might start to call it a bit of a win situation for NiP on an exit. So just that 1 kill would do all the damage, but Exist is actually going to fall off it. They've lost a lot of players in the last couple of rounds as well, so he doesn't feel it's worthy to go for the chase. They're going to play the safe game at this point.
Especially when he's walking around with full armor. He's still got Molotov, smoke grenades, 2 flashes. Like, you can't really stack up a player much more than Exist is right now.
That is true. He does. Yeah, the full nades and the kit is a worthy say. I think he picked up actually the Molotov when he ran back through, but regardless, it is a little more worth it. Excuse me, because he's not going to waste those going for it. But again, that 1 kill would have made a massive difference to EnvyUs economy because now look, I mean, you've got 3,800 on MBK even post round buying out on the nades, and that's after a money bonus reset. So
Alu's so quick to mid, they're going to boost him up through short. He had the spawn to go for the earlier peek, but instead, oh, he walked out so far.
I think he didn't think there was going to be a gap on that smoke.
No.
I think he expected that to be flush with the wall, and instead Kiyoshima just angles him off. Shox is down below. Now GetRight's in an awkward position because he has to cross back over if he wants out of there, and there's no smoke. This would be an odd time where the smoke in window actually advantages the CTs. It's not going to be there, so GetRight has to fight himself out of this.
Looks like Shock is waiting for him to come out as well. Not the greatest angle. He could just potentially crouch walk himself out because there's no one up top mid. So it's only Shock's close.
He would expect someone to be there, especially after Kiyoshima got the kill from there onto Alu.
The muzzle's actually poking out of the window now, so Shox is very much aware where GetRight is, and he's backing up. He got himself over to jungle and needs to be as well, because already EnvyUs is coming in. There's already the jump up, and okay, GetRight. There is a revenge kill. Did some considerable damage to EnvyUs as they came in, but Shox chasing GetRight all the way to window. Again, can't get the upper hand though. Freiberg, he gets to come up through the A stairs. GetRight gets a little bit of intel. Just dinks up on MBK. The Freiberg, he'll drop two. EnvyUs pick up their third round for the half.
And their first time ever getting 2 in a row. Now they're starting to build up a bank. 68-50 NBK. Do still have to buy out for Chemo. In fact, that's going to be a drop over. And NBK is going to buy down to 41-50, but still getting into it. And NiP this time will be the one onto pistols. So this could quickly turn back. And now we got to talk numbers for the T side. I said 9 for NiP, that would imply 6 for EnvyUs, but they're still in a position to potentially pick up more than that, especially if they can start stringing this and going their way. And look at the spray down in middle. Shox, Kyo, NBK, one apiece. A lot of damage going against them in the meantime, but still get the frag advantage.
I'm not quite sure how much of that was done by Ninjas in Pajamas or because they kept walking over each other's line of fire. Then NiP down to 2.
Oh!
Way, hello.
Drive-by. Up in the hood, GetRight.
That means he can also pick up this orb. That's a big save there for GetRight too, because they wouldn't have had money for that for the next round. Well, at the same time, but Forest is still walking around with just a pistol. If they can save the weapon, they're happy with this. Forest is going to get picked. Well, you know, Kyo can't get the kill. Looking for one on window and mid.
It also lets them know that Kyo is out toward middle, so they can't lead off toward T-spawn for the save. This would mean GetRight, his best chance would be actually to go to Palace, but look at Forest, he's still down there. He's chasing. I mean, he's only got the pistol, there's no reason not to, but he won't be around to support GetRight late, and that bomb's still got a bit of time left to go.
Yeah, right.
This is awkward now. Good first shot, though, with the pistol, so he actually does still collect Smiths. They are going to come fully onto him, though. He's got to watch from connector. He wants this up, not going to have it, and the bomb's going to go off, so double win for EnvyUs in the round, and they're only on 3 back now. 7-4.
There's still a large amount of money, enough for Alu to buy up both armor as well as the orb. He just won't have any nades to go with it. He's got 1 grenade, 1 flash. But it's still a rough buy, while EnvyUs now they run the double orb, Happy and Smiths together. And Happy's going to look for the early pick through apartments. While Alu straight into mid. Already one going to go down, reveals the position, throws out the grenades. Huge massive damage coming out from NiP, and they've still got that one player, Kyo, who was up a long way up through Cat.
That's exactly how Envy used to take down NiP on Cash. They just run up mid relentlessly, flashes, smokes, catch them off guard and overwhelm them. Happy gets around behind, so he does catch Freiberg on the return, but 3 kills out within the first 10 seconds of the mid exchange. That's massive. As Freiberg's the only one to go down, and Happy's just awaiting death at this point, barring some sort of miracle, because they know exactly where he is, and they know exactly where the bomb is, so there it is. He'll walk into the crosshair of Alu, and NiP, after a brief lull, get another round of the way. It's 8.
As you said, though, they needed more rounds, in your mind, at least on this CT side.
I think 9's where they need to be, I really do, just based on the way that the trends have happened. Comfy is the way to be. Close is not nearly good enough, as we've seen from these two teams all night. So the more rounds they have to sit down, take the pressure off them, not force things out, the better they're going to be late in this game, because you know EnvyUs is going to push them every chance they get. Well,
EnvyUs about to push again. They're going to see if they can give more kills over to GetRight. He's only got 18 for the half so far. Exist, giving him that crossfire. But it is still EnvyUs to find the earlier kills. GetRight being dropped down by Happy, and Exist is forced to reload. They can't advance on his position just yet. They're still worried about the vision. Down at the sandwich, there goes Shox, and Exist holding it.
Huge awareness. He knew the first player was over Tetris already. Now he's going to flash off. This is brilliant, but no, Kiyoshima, nice shot. No less, Exist did his job. 2 on the way in. or break that 3, excuse me, the third one on that sandwich player, and that was full awareness. Unfortunately, goes down just before Forrest could get in position, but look at the HP. The damage has already been done, so Forrest has the advantage if he can get into position early enough. And he may just catch him out. No, Happy sees him. Forrest does get the kill. Bomb still up, though. That's not your bomb carrier, so Keo does still have 40 seconds to work with here.
Does he even really want to do this? Forrest is waiting for him to come in through. Oh, wow. Forrest was already pre-prepared for that one, and Keo is still able to outshoot him.
AK, the headshot. And honestly, I'm not even sure Forrest's first bullet hit on it. It looked like on my screen it caught the edge of the windowsill.
Either way, Ninjas in Pajamas lose the round.
And that would have been your 9th. That was it right there.
Instead, they go 8-5, and they're forced to buy into these SMGs, Famous. As well as the 2 M4s. Get Right's got nothing, though. And Ninjas in Pajamas still hold a very, very spaced out defense. 1 jungle, 1 connector mid. We've got Exist sitting inside a shadow for the moment. And Freiburg's moved up as far as he possibly can. Obviously, he's got the SMG. You want to play these gun battles in nice and close.
I think well, he has. The trajectory of that smoke came out. Shox knows he's up close. In fact, I assume the spam was actually to catch him if he fell back more so than anything, as NBK gets Get Right. And a flash comes out from a teammate to allow Keo to entry on to connector, but again, passive play there. It's going to be staggered. Alu's on the backside of the jungle with the M4 waiting for the push to come all the way through. And that again allows Exist to get up close, but he's got to be so careful. He's in shadow right now, but there's a player Palace and on the A ramp right now. Has to find a kill immediately. The first kill has to come out and go his way, and he's already going to get taken down. Smith's up, and Alu smoked off, so he comes out late. That's your bomb, though. That'll slow things down massively, but it's all left to Freiburg. They'll find him before any more damage can be done.
He's got no hope, but if he can find a kill with an SMG, maybe the money is still going to be good for him. As he can look towards the mid connector. That's going to be the easiest place to find the kill, and he will. He ends up killing off Shox.
And $600 to him as well, keep in mind.
That means he can pick up an AK, taking out a second.
Okay, now Happy's low HP. He's actually giving himself a bit of a chance because he's got reasonable time on this bomb. The one downside is he has no kit, so he has to go now. He has to force the issue. And I don't even think there's a kit down anywhere. Well, it won't matter anyway.
Yeah.
Nathan takes him down, so...
He still need to check out where the last player was from EnvyUs, so he had an idea, but... He hunted the one player he knew 100% where he was.
I mean, I say it time and time again, post-plant position, regardless of almost anywhere that the bomb's planted, except maybe the default inside the site over by Firebox. The A ramp is one of the best spots in the game post-plant. It's so easy, it's such a wide peak, you can have so many angles where the bomb's planted, and you're so deep away from the site that if they're going to peek you, they have to go so far away from the bomb to do it that it buys a ton of time. So usually once you get a player there post-plant, you're in a great position.
We're at the last round of the first half. Ninjas in Pajamas, desperate for a round, but with only armor pistols as well as one SMG, is not that much to work with. But EnvyUs, they're taking it slow, as methodical as they possibly can. Keo now going to come up through connector, finds Exist, but Get Right and Exist, they team up together. And they're holding at least connector until NBK and Shox turn up. And now they're going to start losing players left, right, and center. And there it is. So round will go the way of EnvyUs. And we've finished 8-7. Only one round the difference, would you believe it?
And exactly. I mean, that 9th round could have come out. Forrest, Kiyoshima, excellent shot. And not to take away from Forrest, it was actually Kiyoshima that nailed the shot when he came around from those B apartments through the window. That might make all the difference. We'll see, because again, this is the third map. We've seen 8-7 as the scoreline. First one, yes, Envy started to break the economy, get ahead. It looked like they were going to do that on Dust, and then NiP had a great run of rounds and great success. We saw where that went.
Yeah.
Swapping over Mirage. Mirage T-side for NiP. I mean, Alu has to control mid. He has to win the exchange with Smiths, but you've got to also watch for how dynamic, and it's almost a slide play. It's not quite the same way Fnatic do it from EnvyUs, but do watch for the initial shot to come out from window and then a secondary player to follow up from either Cat or onto connector. And they're very good at getting trades in that position at the very least. So Alu has to be dead on if he's going to take that battle.
Well, NiP, now they're waiting for EnvyUs to get aggressive over on B. They're actually stacked up at the underpass entrance, just behind apartments. But no one from EnvyUs is pushing. In fact, they're all holding back very, very deep. One on the A stairs, one over, both of them, in fact, near the mid-connector stairs.
And we talked about mentality about tomorrow's matches. If this goes the way of EnvyUs, how does NiP respond? If this goes the way of NiP, if they can finally get the monkey off the back to take out EnvyUs, EnvyUs then play Fnatic. You have to think Fnatic have a phenomenal chance in that, as statistics would say. That means EnvyUs could go out in fourth. NiP, TSM, okay, that's a battle, I'm sure, but NiP have to feel like they can win this. They have to feel like this is their first chance in a while to win a tournament if they can get through. This is their biggest test, hands down. So 8-7, that's close. They've got to pull this through, and none more so right now than getting off to a great start. Passive play right now from the defense. Shox on the stairs at jungle. Smoke's going to go out. That's going to close him off. He'll be forced to drop down, but no secondary smoke out just yet. Lots of flashes, mind you, and there it is. That one's just going to drop in front of him.
That Molotov is really screwing around with NiP. They want to push in a lot earlier. Keo getting tagged up quite heavily at that back CT spawn stairs, but Forest, they're all moving into connector. They've managed to take the A side away from EnvyUs, looking for the plant as well. Very, very defensive plant, as NBK as well as Happy coming in through that mid-connector area. They're the last two left up. CZ as well as that USP. But they're up against 5 players from NiP who have a really nice spacing across this A side. Get right, trying to battle from the ticket booth. Happy will bring him down. Very injured Tease, in fact.
Just don't peek. Just play the time.
Wait the time out, but exists. He peeks. Freiburg scalp, a little bit visible on the side. He's going to jump himself in. Alu, trying to battle from Palace. Happy's going to drop. And that bomb, he's out of time. There's no way, even with the kid, he can't get the defuse off. So Ninjas in Pajamas, they'll take the first round of the second half here. And they go 9 rounds to 7 against EnvyUs.
Again, it's pistol. You don't want to read into a default setup too much, but we talked about how a passive connector, which isn't orthodox, that's not normally what we say. I mean, you see VP, you have a phenomenal mid player. Usually it's either Pasha or Neo inside the connector. With Fnatic, it's Crims who holds off in there quite efficiently. We saw what NiP did. They actually left it open, and that allowed Exist to get up close. With no one up close, we saw what those smokes did. The site opened up massively. They can get in there with even just one pick to walk in and get the bomb down. And on a pistol round, you'd think up close would be the advantage. So maybe NiP can exploit that. If Fnatic, or EnvyUs, excuse me, give up too much space, those smokes are going to be effective. Flipside did it to Liquid in the Katowice qualifiers. It's the same situation. You have to counter those smokes out.
Wow. They caught a glimpse of Happy and just started to spray through. Alu taking some decent damage. That scope of MBK going to work until Forest arrives in through the apartments. Exist realized Smith's over on the corner, jumps over the top of the crates, but Smith's out to pick up 2 before Forest will finally put him in the grave. But it puts the bomb in the open area. As Shox will go down, there goes his Nova.
$600 to Forest, times 3. So he just picked up $900. Excuse me, that's not math. He picked up $800 on this round. I'll get there eventually. His Get Right's going to get one of his own in Kiyoshima.
It's okay, man. I understand.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but Ninjas in Pajamas, good back-to-back rounds.
I mean, look at his money. Forrest has $5,800 going into the second round of the half. Or pardon me, the third round of the half after 2 rounds. I mean, that's remarkable. So he's going to be in an awesome position to buy out when they're ready to go with guns here. And EnvyUs going to go for the full save. Well, I mean, it's going to be full save, so there's no reason to do it yet. They might as well take any advantage they can get from these SMGs, and then they'll upgrade when they have to.
Yeah. No reason to start losing these weapons. Forest looking to kill MBK with Smith's weapon. Instead, that's going to hurt a little. Throws out the fire, so at least he knows the truck is clear.
When you hear metal on metal, you know it's painful. Luckily, the stopping power of that pistol from that range only takes him down to 41, but Exist will get MBK. There's your start of the SMG rush. They're also going to catch off Shox.
Didn't realize one at bench. Freiburg.
Spidey senses were tingling, you could tell, because he was checking around and around, like, where is there? There's got to be one more here. As Alu's going to pick up 2 more, so that's 3 for him. There's his 1,800 spread. So watch for Alu straight top, 86 for him, 81 for Forrest. I mean, it's quite comfortable. This is perfect.
And this is the gun around for EnvyUs, and they can't afford an AWP, so there's no way they can battle up against Alu on that mid. And I'm wondering if Alu even decides to take that kind of battle. He's not. He's given an AK.
They're lining up these smokes, so they want to direct to execute. It's an early execute as well, because first smoke's already out. That's your close-up catwalk to throw them off at middle, but look at that Chinese fireworks all over the top. They do have one up close. This is the difference, and actually Shox is going to push through onto Sandwich as well, so they're countering it, but that Molotov's going to come in. Shox is going to get burned down at 52 before he gets out of there.
Just walks through the smoke. He's right in front of him. He's going to get sprayed out. Forrest, I don't think he even knew where he was, but they just gave it a crack anyway. And Exist able to get the plant down, still not a single casualty on NiP. In fact, not a point of damage being done to them.
And they kept the SMGs, because if they go for a fast execute, if they make that call early enough, they know the smokes will hold them out, they get close with the SMGs, they can fire while they're running and take over the site. They haven't, yeah, you're dead right. There's not even a point of damage going against them. Finally, some does, but Exist gets the kill and the $600. Smiths puts up a fight, but
yeah,
despite Forrest going down, Freiburg closes it up. That's another SMG kill. We're up to 10 for Exist right now in terms of money. I mean, they're playing it perfectly. By running that A strategy, it allowed them to use them for one more time. Now we'll go to guns. I expect them to slow things down, but again, no op. They're just going to play for picks.
Yeah, it's just Scout and a couple of upgraded pistols. This is EnvyUs there. They're still keeping themselves low. So NiP, if they play this right, it's 13-7, and the biggest advantage they've had up against EnvyUs in this entire series, and probably the biggest advantage they've had on LAN in a very long time too.
You have to wonder. I mean, Shocks looked very tired when we saw him on camera in the last map. If that's really playing an effect right now for EnvyUs, because he's getting mowed. It is an anti-eco, but NiP are making it perfect right now. NBK is all that's left. He's your own with the Scout, and it seems like eons ago at this point, but let's not forget the first two maps that he was a menace with this Scout on these ecos.
Well, he just managed to get 3 tags, but he can't finish the job. And that's going to be the 13th round that NiP is capable of picking up. But here's our buy around for EnvyUs. Let's see how well they go. A double AWP. Happy as well as Smiths picking this up. Happy with no head armor, however. But at least he's not a shotgun.
Well, I mean,
a glass cannon.
No head armor. CT side is debatable. Yes, they do have 2 M4s. So if they were aware of that, it would pay off. The M4, it makes a difference. But AK, you're dead regardless.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is worth saving that little bit of money. 650 versus 1,000.
Oh.
Look at this mid pressure. They go for that close cat smoke again, push right through it, and already Happy's caught off.
That couldn't have been any better for him. Smiths was looking to get the AWP pick up from Connect while Happy inside the window, and they managed just to burn him out with the Molotovs. Now NBK pushing up through Cat. He takes one, able to bring down the second as Freiburg also going to drop.
Get Right actually didn't have a great shoulder peek on Smiths to force him out of the connector because they thought he was going to get rushed. Comes back around. So not only do they have 2 kills, that's bomb down at mid. Alu now drops on the way out of Palace, and EnvyUs look like they're finally coming alive on their CT side. Just 2 remain. It's Exist and Get Right, both with AKs, both with full HP. Head armor as well. Molotov, 1 flash for Get Right.
So they're going to try and boost him up.
And Shocks is waiting for this though, and Smoke's gone.
Smoke clears, he gets Exist down, but of course with that position they realize where the last player is in underpass. Flashes, Molotovs, Get Right. Another Molotov picking up the grenades from his dead teammate.
Oh, that flash. Get Right's got nowhere to go. In fact, he's going to take the long way out. 28 seconds, we'll see if he can just go for a bomb plant at B, but there's still a player waiting over on the backside of bench.
Is there actually a point to do this? Like, he's got a lot of money, sure.
They've got a lot of money. There's no real reason, at the very least, if bomb plant A is going to help you get more money, but B, try and get some guns out of their hand, because you know yeah, look at this, trying to play it with style, throws the pistol out for the bait, but MBK not even going to see that, not fooled regardless, gets the kill with the M4.
So EnvyUs, double AWP gets to pay off, even though technically they weren't finding anything with it, considering Happy dropped also in the first 15 seconds of the round. But they can still play it again. Ninjas in pajamas. All the money in the world for all the Molotovs they want. Except Alu actually holds back from it. He only got 2 flashes as well as a grenade. In fact, Ninjas in pajamas, they're prepping the smoke for an A attack again. But this time EnvyUs being a little bit more aggressive. Kio's already sitting up on top of the balcony area, thinking about dropping down a shadow while Shocks battling on the site. And they're already out. They're right in front of him. They already see the guy out by Shocks. Freiburg. Shocks doing the work. 2 from the side. Able to bring down Alu. Actually, no, he got help there from Smith with a rifle.
That was round changing though, because he got himself in a dodge on that flash. It looked like if he dropped down, that opens the site. Bomb was still on its way over, but instead, that 3rd kill from him completely shut down the push from NiP. So Get Right leads the way 25, 20 for Freiburg. They're well ahead of everyone else, but then it's a close battle. Frag distribution not bad otherwise, so 16-9 for
It's one of the few times you look at NiP and Alu has the lowest amount of kills.
And especially on Mirage. I mean, he normally has a way about him of finding picks, specifically toward middle. In fact, in the qualifiers we saw him get, it was an anti-eco ace, but it was still quite pretty. He did it very efficiently, and I think it was a matter of about 7 seconds he got all 5 of them, so.
Well, he'll need that magic if NiP want to try and close out this series. They still need 3 rounds against EnvyUs. Doesn't seem like much, but right now it's a pretty tall ask. And EnvyUs already starting to back up. Ninjas in Pajamas currently control the mid. No one in window. EnvyUs actually pulling back 3 players almost all the way to B. One of them just moving back up now into the kitchen. So yeah, they have 3 properly committed to B. While Keo feeling a little bit claustrophobic. There is that one long flanker, and I believe that's actually Shox, who's managed to walk all the way through T-Spot, and Sue's going to shoot the bomb carrier in the back. If NiP don't move up quickly, yep, Shox, there it is. He kills off Forest, reveals the bomb in the mid.
I don't think he saw a bomb. And regardless, I mean, even if he pushes forward to security, he knows there's other players there.
Yeah.
It's just suicidal. Get the kill, fall back. You've already slowed things down and made it a bit of a problem for NiP, although Freiburg's going to solve that problem, as is Alu. That's Kiyoshima down now, and Happy drops inside the site. They've opened this up, so Smiths finally does respond, but that early push from Shox, he falls off, and he thinks his team will be able to hold and tries to get back over into apartments instead, so a secondary flank angle. Instead, he gets too far away from the play, and NiP have turned this completely around as Shox now drops on the way back over, and Smiths has to hold on to this op.
What a huge round. What a huge round. Smiths knows he can't go for this. You've even still got nades available for Alu with the 3 AKs. Maybe he can take one of the weapons out of NiP's hands, but it's going to make very little difference now. NiP to take the round and go 14.
And you have to love the call. They get the picks at B, but they know Shox is still somewhere behind them.
Hold it.
As GetRight's going to close out on it. They know Shox is still somewhere behind them. They also know that they've killed 3 B. So Shox, at the very best, if he hasn't gone into the B apartments, at the very best case scenario for Envy, he's over toward A ramp, but he's not back in the site yet because they had 2 players in connectors. So instead they go, all right, there's only 1 here. It's a guaranteed bomb plant. So they rush it in, and I like it. And that was a great read from NiP. So 2 rounds to go for them, and who would have thought they might actually pick up the series against Envy?
It's crazy to think, especially after that second map. Yeah, you've done it before already. And
I know. That's why I knocked on wood this time. I didn't do that last time, so maybe it'll make the difference.
Well, NiP still did win the series, so...
It was 14-10 last time, it's 14-9 this time, so... Maybe that one round will be the difference.
Smiths, can he go big? Keo already has it.
These pistols, man! These pistols from EnvyUs are just absolutely incredible. Luckily, Alu and GetRight do hold their composure, but look at Alu, 2 HP, and there's still 3 up plus 2 rifles now. Happy has that from us. Kiyoshima's picked up that AK, and Happy's going to collect on Alu. GetRight does get Happy, but not for free. He takes 75 damage in doing so, so on to 25 for him.
Bomb's too
down
far
to
away.
1 or 2. Yeah, that's the big thing. Bomb's very far. And look, Shox is just sitting on top of it. Or pardon me, Kiyoshima's just sitting on top of it, so EnvyUs maybe need to realize that guns aren't the answer.
You've just lost more followers on Twitter.
Oh my god, it's life is hard. Kappa.
Social networking lost. 14-10 now. Ninjas in Pajamas.
It's okay.
It can't be happening again. It cannot be happening again.
I mean, that's only 1 round. We're getting ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, and
I mean,
EnvyUs still have force buying.
Right, exactly. Despite winning the round, they're still quite broke. NBK, though, does, I mean, again, he's been awesome with the scout all night, but they are still going to have 2 FAMASas to work with. Against the 5 AKs, armor as well. Full nades. I mean, NiP's got full control to go for an execute as we see Exist trying to get that first pick onto board Catwalk, and the bomb's already coming around to connect there as well. That's Forrest, but look at him, already tagged up once, and the scout's going to do it all. 2 shots in a row, first with 70 damage, second as well, it won't matter, only needs 30, and Happy up close in the GetRight spot is going to use it to his own advantage. Freiburg down. Speaking of GetRight, though, he will find Smiths.
They're going to bring this bomb back over to A. Like, there really is no other choice. Maybe keep EnvyUs with these 3 defenders there. GetRight's going to kill off Shox, but they know how many are over there. So if they can get through quickly, and they can, they got through Kiyoshima. This is the big one. GetRight can now hold that hole in the wall. There's no way to come in through jungle. In fact, even killing off MBK at Catwalk, it's all up to Happy to avoid the 5 match points for Ninjas in Pajamas. And Happy can't do it. Alu will get the kill, and there it is. The 15th round that Ninjas in Pajamas can pick up. It's on the 25th. And this could be it, 5 match points. And what have we got from EnvyUs? I mean, force buying the entire time, and we're still looking at the same situation.
I mean, NBK, it's not only a scout this time, it's a completely naked scout. He's on $0, only grabbing that gun. So NiP might have put up a contest on cash, looked good. Persevered in the battle of attrition on Dust 2, and now we're on the brink of taking down their arch nemesis as of late. Team EnvyUs, but again, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Flash is going to go in, triple flashes at that through connector, but again, the pistols from Smiths. Get right caught already. He can't secure the AK just yet. Alu's still waiting, and that nade's going to go in and do decent damage, but not before Smiths can find another kill onto Exist, who came around. They boosted him, so he came from the backside of jungle. And again, they've got the man advantage right now, making a 2-man advantage, and Forrest on 9 HP. Pistols in EnvyUs' hand is the most scary thing in the game. And another force buy gives them the win. It's not done yet.
And they got 3 AKs from the hands of NiP. And NiP, now they're the ones that are tight for funds. It's almost worth, is it almost worth an eco, or are you forced by this?
Well,
they're forcing
I think they've answered it for you before I could. I would have said
they
potentially save this up, but...
They got 4 AKs as well as a CZ, and they've all still got full armor, apart from Freiburg is missing the head.
I mean, the problem is now, if they lose this, they do go on to a savior at 15-12, then potentially 15-13. You lose one more, and you're playing in the exact same position we were last time, whereas you save this, you give up, what, one more round, and then you have a bit more of a buy? Because right now, there's not a lot of nades. They've only got nades on 3 people, so the execution is going to have to be swift. Fakes aren't going to be nearly as probable, but it doesn't matter when you've got 3 kills. Alu, Freiburg, get right, all in with 1. Freiburg bows out afterwards. The Magician's done his trick, and he'll disappear, but look at Sox underneath in shadow. Exist goes back into him, and it's all down to NBK.
Yep, they've got to do it big right now.
Does get the tag, though. Exist on 28.
He needs to get that frag piece hitting
right behind him.
The silent and deadly coming from the rear, and that's going to be NBK down for the count. Ninjas in pajamas win the series. 2 map